Hello, and today we're going to be talking about Kingdoms. It's a 2D strategy management game. In fact, the game itself is actually quite simple. You only need 4 buttons to actually play the game. Left, right, down, and shift. While with some games, you can play with one hand, in this game, you do play with one hand. Mainly because there's no need for the other hand, as there's no controls that you can do with it. The basic loop is this. You hire a person, you send them out to go make some money, you then take that money and then reinvest it in some wooden barricades, and then maybe another archer. A few days later, you have Wall Maria set up with an army of professional military personnel, ballista turrets, and fully functioning economy based on grain and rabbits, funding your entire multi-continent empire against the horrors of darkness which seeks to destroy you. Let me rewind. In this game, you have 4 goals. Explore, expand, defend, and conquer. And doing this is really simple. Hire people and bring them to your kingdom, equip them with some tools, collect the money they make, build up defenses, and push out. And that's all I can really say without spoiling too much, so I'll just talk about the controls. It seems odd to only need 3 buttons to actually play the game, but it works pretty well. And I know I just said that you need 4 and the shift is kind of used as an attack for some of the other things. It's a little bit spoiler territory, so I'm just not even going to get into it. Anyway, you move left and right along the map and you drop coins to do things. You can drop coins to distract the greedlings, you can hire homeless people, you can buy equipment, buy buildings, and so on. The bag on the top shows you how much gold you have on you, and the amount differs a little based on how the coins fall into the bag. And it's kind of interesting how they actually have it drop into the bag, because you could theoretically stack them up infinitely high with a little bit of luck, but that doesn't happen. Instead, the coins will just slip off and fall off the bag, where they can either be dropped on the ground and be picked up by you or your men, or they just fall in the water where they are lost forever. After the 3rd main base upgrade, you can actually store gold in your keep to use later. This is really useful. Give your gold to the Merchants Guild. Shift is used to sprint in one direction or the other. You can do a lot of running, and there is going to be a lot of running left and right. There's no automated building or upgrading. You have to do all of that yourself, which can get tedious. And that is really the only downside of this game, is that you're going to be doing a lot of walking back and forth, and the starting horse gets really tired really quickly. Which ties into another key aspect of this game: time. There are 3 main resources in this game: money, people, and time. Every night, the enemies are going to attack one of the sides of your settlements, and every building progressively takes more and more time to build the stronger they get, so planning becomes a pretty big priority in this game as you progress. And if you don't, you're going to end up leaving yourself open to a major breach.
You boys ready for your cock meat sandwich?
So, how do you lose this game? Well, you lose your crown. If the greedlings attack you, you drop money. So, not only is money your main resource, it's also your life. So, time is money and money is your life. If you run out of money and you get smacked with no health, you lose your crown, and the greedlings will run off with your crown. And if your men can't get it back, the game is over. Graphically, this game looks amazing. I'm not gonna lie, I have a little bit of a hard-on for pretty good pixel graphics. And a lot of games do use pixel graphics, but they use it as sort of a crutch for the game. The whole retro 16 to 32-bit graphics, in my opinion, have started to become very much overused. However, when it's picked as an actual artistic choice with a purpose to it, and not a blatant crutch designed as nostalgia bait, yeah, I like it. The effects of the rain, the snow, the lighting, the animation, it all really makes the game look good. And this is definitely one of those games where if you take a screenshot with the HUD off, you will definitely have a new wallpaper. The music in this game is also great. It's very atmospheric, and it adds a lot of feeling to the game. It all ties together really well. This game doesn't have really big spoilers per se, but the main part of this game is exploration, so if you don't want any of those things to be spoiled for you, then go here. They gone? Well, they're lost. This game is chock full of different monuments, mounts, and all sorts of stuff. In the beginning of the game, you'll only have access to wooden fortifications on the starting island that acts sort of like a hub for your game. It's really a tutorial island. The game then starts to open up whenever you get to the second island where you get your first gems. Protect the gems. They are your special currency and they act as your unlock currency. Just like coins, they can be knocked out of your bag and taken by the greedlings. There are a few different mounts in this game, like the elk and the griffin, and they each have their own bonuses and drawbacks. For instance, the elk is faster in forests, but is slower in the open plains. Each one of the islands has a statue that acts like a bonus for your units in the overall campaign. Also, on some islands there will be hermits that can be recruited that will give you some pretty decent bonuses and improvements. Some are better than others. They allow you to build better things, for instance, make more knights, better mills for food, or ballista towers that can absolutely fucking decimate the greedlings. Which brings us to the greedlings. These little fuckers. Okay, so greed is what's going to be attacking you every single night. And they are, well, I don't know what they are besides that they're little shits. Greedlings, which are the smallest form, steal money, tools, gems, and hermits. Anything that they get away with is lost forever. Now, generally, how I like to play is more or less like a 14th century noble. I use my money to distract the unwashed masses while my professional military destroys them. The greed spawns from portals on the island, and take it from me, you don't want to break those things unless you are ready to deal with the consequences. I'll let you figure out what those consequences are.
Fucking slaves, get your ass back here!
Throughout the game, the greed gets more and more powerful, and this translates to every single island you go to. So if you get done fighting them off at day 60 on a completely kitted out island with massive stone walls, ballista towers, and whatnot, and then you go to a new island, well, you're going to be dealing with day 61 enemies with very little defenses. However, you can combat this by bringing a cohort of soldiers, builders, and money from the island that you were just at to your new one. You can also bring along a couple of hermits in order to give you a solid boost at the beginning. However, I really do not recommend doing this, as the chances of them being lost are exponential. Lastly, seasons. Seasons are a big thing. Namely winter. Winter is the casual filter of this game. Definitely the first winter, because in the first winter, crops no longer grow, small game doesn't spawn, and big game spawns very rarely. The money that you're going to be able to make is going to be limited to picking berry bushes and felling trees, which can only get you so much. You're not going to be doing a lot of expansion in winter, and it's really a test to see how strong and sustainable you have built your kingdom so far. There's a lot more to this game that I'm not really going to go into, mainly because, like I said, a huge part of the game is exploration. However, there's a little bit that I've just said that kind of gives you an idea of what to expect whenever you start playing it, but this game really has a lot for such a simple control scheme. I highly recommend this game if it looks interesting to you. And even if it doesn't, Steam has a pretty generous refund policy, and I would just try it out. I would just recommend trying it out for a little bit, because when I first bought this game on Steam, I ended up playing it for about 6 hours straight, so yeah. Also, Kingdom 2 Crowns is multiplayer, but since I don't have friends, it's a single player game. I have heard, however, very good things about the multiplayer, so there's that. Anyway, I really recommend this game, and that's about it. First game of 2022, fucking 8 out of 10, solid. It would be better if I could do more shit in winter. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Here's to 2022 and hoping that we will all still be around in 2023.